Hey, can I talk to you for a sec? I need to discuss something with you. Sure, what's up? I heard a rumor recently that you lied about your academic background. Is that true? What? Absolutely not. Who's been saying that? I was called in by the manager during a busy time, only to be accused of lying about my education. It made me so angry. I hadn't lied about my education, and it would be easy to check and prove that. The fact that he didn't even bother to investigate before accusing me made me furious. Didn't you get in through an athletic scholarship? But you've been acting like you're highly educated, which seems strange. Yes, I did get in through an athletic scholarship. But what's wrong with that? I really did graduate from college. That's not the point. Athletic scholarships, alternative admissions, recommendations, they don't count. A degree should reflect a person's true ability. I can't stand people who use sneaky ways to get their education. I couldn't understand why the manager was so angry. I knew he graduated from one of the top universities in the US and was proud of his academic background. Honestly, I wondered why he was so obsessed with it, even in his 40s. But that doesn't change the fact that he had an impressive career. However, I think it's wrong to impose his beliefs on others and judge people solely based on their academic background. With all due respect, what's wrong with an athletic scholarship? I worked really hard to earn it. I was aiming to become a professional athlete. I had some success but had to quit due to an injury and return to a normal life. I believe I was hired because my efforts were recognized. That's just because the HR department didn't have an eye for talent. Don't get cocky. That's fine. I'm not expecting you to acknowledge what I did during my school years. But it's a fact that I've been delivering results in this company, right? What? I've been producing visible results, hadn't I? Doesn't that count for anything? Even if I only graduated high school, wouldn't it be irrelevant if I was getting results? This is why I hate people who only focused on sports and are otherwise dumb. You're just a simpleton. You need to understand that this world is decided by true intelligence. And you don't have it. Got it? I was so stunned by the manager's words that I didn't even feel like arguing anymore. However, after that, I started getting assigned menial tasks like organizing the warehouse. I wondered why I was being made to do these things, and then one day, the CEO called me in and suddenly informed me that I was being demoted. I had no idea what was happening, but my life took a 180-degree turn from that day on. My name is Scott, and I currently work in sales at a major IT company. Hey, can you check this presentation for me? We're gonna use it for an upcoming client meeting. Got it? I'll review it by this evening and get back to you. Thanks, I know you're busy. Your advice is always spot on, so I really rely on you. If you think that highly of me, I'll be happy to help anytime. Sarah, she's my senior by 5 years and is known as one of the most beautiful women in the company. Despite being a stunning woman, she's incredibly dedicated to her work. She's what you'd call beauty with brains and one of the people I respect the most. Her passion and perfectionism at work are unmatched. Because of that, I often ask her for guidance to help me grow. Scott, can I have a word? Sure. What's up? Next Friday, are you free in the afternoon? I don't have any meetings scheduled, so yeah. Is there something going on? I have a dinner with one of my clients that I was thinking of bringing you to. It's a big account, and I want you to eventually take over. I've been asked to join a new project. I felt both nervous and happy hearing this from her. It was a sign that she trusted me, and that meant a lot. I knew I had to work hard not to disappoint her, but more than anything, being recognized by her was a huge deal for me. I'm really happy. I'll do my best not to let you down. I believe in you, but just be careful not to mess up. We don't want to inconvenience the client. Of course. I kept working hard to live up to Sarah's trust in me. Sarah doesn't fall for any tricks or flattery. She's serious about her work, so I have to be just as serious. That's the mentality I had while giving it my all. As a result, I became the most trusted person by Sarah in the company, and I felt a sense of fulfillment in my work. One day, the boss called me over. Hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Sure, what is it? I've been hearing lately. Is it true that you've been lying about your academic background? What? No way, I haven't done anything like that. Who said that? Just when I thought the boss called me over during a busy time, he starts talking about my academic history. It made me angry. I hadn't lied about my background, and if anyone checked, they'd see it's true. The fact that he accused me without investigating made me furious. No, you got into college on an athletic scholarship, right? But you're pretending to be highly educated, which doesn't make sense. Yeah, I did get in on an athletic scholarship. What's wrong with that? I really did graduate from college. That's not the point. We don't count athletic scholarships, early admission, or any kind of special recommendation. A degree is supposed to be a measure of someone's abilities. I can't stand people who use sneaky ways to get their degrees. I had no idea why the boss was so angry. I knew he graduated from one of the top universities in the United States and was proud of his academic achievements. Honestly, I thought it was ridiculous to be so hung up on your academic background in your 40s, but I couldn't deny he had an impressive career. However, imposing his beliefs on others and judging people solely on their education is just wrong. With all due respect, what's so bad about an athletic scholarship? I worked hard to earn it and had aspirations of going pro. I achieved some success but had to give up due to injury and return to a normal life. I'm proud that my efforts were recognized when I was hired. That just means the HR department had poor judgment. Don't get too full of yourself. That's fine. I don't expect you to acknowledge what I did in college. But the fact remains that I'm delivering results in this company, right? What? Haven't I been showing tangible results? Isn't that worth something? Even if someone didn't graduate high school, if they're delivering results, it shouldn't matter. That's why I can't stand people like you who only did sports and don't have brains. Simple-minded people like you are hopeless. Listen, this world is determined by true intelligence. You don't have that intelligence. Got it? I realized arguing with the boss any further was a waste of time, so I didn't respond. But it was frustrating, being completely dismissed for my past efforts. If his criticisms were logical, I might understand. But his reasoning was ridiculous. The idea that education is everything is an outdated notion that should be abandoned. However, I knew the boss wouldn't listen, and I didn't plan to waste more time on him. I'm sorry. Good. Don't get too cocky. Yes, sir. I wasn't being cocky, but I responded anyway. Still, I couldn't shake off the feeling of being dismissed by the boss, and my work pace slowed down. The documents I was supposed to have Sarah check weren't finished by the end of the day. Sarah, I'm sorry. The documents aren't ready yet. Could you check them tomorrow morning instead? I'm fine with that, but what's up? You've never been late with anything before. It's not that there was a problem. I didn't think it was appropriate to consult Sarah about this, but I needed to know if I was in the wrong. Sarah is the best worker I know. Honestly, the boss, despite his impressive academic background, isn't that great at his job. I thought Sarah would give me an accurate response. Was he joking? He seemed pretty serious. It was a lecture, and he called me specifically for it, so I felt like he meant it. If he was serious, that's bad. What is he talking about in this day and age? Education is just part of a resume. How can you measure all of a person's abilities with it? It's ridiculous. Exactly. And saying athletic scholarships are bad is just old-fashioned. The fact that you could get one means you achieved something in that field, right? Acting like academics are everything is laughable. You don't need to worry about it. He's the boss, so don't provoke him unnecessarily, but he's definitely wrong. Thanks to what Sarah said, I was able to think that my thoughts weren't wrong. It's the kind of persuasion that only someone you respect the most can have. I felt completely relieved, wondering why I had been worrying about something so silly. However, the next day, hey, you're gonna be in charge of sorting the warehouse today. What? Someone like you, who faked their qualifications, can be trusted with important tasks. You do know who's the boss around here, right? But do you even know who you shouldn't argue with, considering your lack of a proper brain? I couldn't say anything in response. There was no benefit for me in arguing with the boss. The boss is the most important person in this department, and I'm just a non-managerial employee. Even if what the boss says is wrong, it's part of life to accept that unreasonable situation. Since there were no meetings scheduled that day, I spent the day sorting the warehouse. Then, after the boss left, I worked on my actual tasks, day after day. Sarah was on a business trip and wasn't in the office. Everyone else was too busy with their own work to pay any attention to me. About a week of this routine went by. One day, as usual, I was working overtime when, "Oh, you're still here. Good work. Sarah, good work. Weren't you on a business trip? I just got back today. I came to pick up a USB drive I left at the office, but it's already past 10 p.m. Do you have that much work piled up?" Yeah, something like that. At that moment, I thought Sarah would be disappointed in me. She's always believed that you shouldn't have to work overtime, that a competent person should finish their work within the day. If there's too much work to finish, then rescheduling is important. So, I wondered what she would think of me working so late. That's how I felt. You usually don't stay this late. What are you working on? Tomorrow's presentation materials. They're done, but I wanted to review and fine-tune them. Wait, the materials for tomorrow aren't finished yet. That's kinda bad, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I dug myself into a deeper hole, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead. Besides the physical exhaustion, I was working overtime every day and wasn't getting enough sleep. I didn't have the focus or the mental clarity. Something happened, didn't it? I can tell just by looking at your face. Want to talk about it? No, it's fine. If something's wrong, you can't just ignore it. I'm your mentor. You can rely on me more. I was so emotionally drained that Sarah's words brought tears to my eyes. I confessed that the boss had been harassing me. I explained that because I wasn't able to work properly during regular hours, I had to catch up by working overtime. I see. Thanks for telling me. But I can't just leave it at that. I'll have a word with the boss. But the boss behavior is completely inappropriate, so you don't need to hold back. That's why you have mentors like me to rely on, okay? Understanding my feelings. Sarah smiled as she said that. I felt genuinely grateful to have her as my mentor. With her help, I managed to leave before the last train. The next day, I went to work, hoping my situation would change. Then, "Hey, Scott, come here for a sec." The boss called me over, glaring at me. I approached him nervously, wondering what he was going to say. "I heard you told Sarah something you shouldn't have." "Huh? What do you mean?" "You told that goody two-shoes workaholic something, didn't you? You don't like my decisions that much." "No, that's not it." I knew arguing would be pointless, so I maintained a humble stance. "Yeah, I got a message this morning. That girl got cocky just because she's a little good at her job, and it was really annoying. You crossed a line with me, you know that." I sighed deeply inside. I wasn't trying to blame Sarah. She had tried her best for my sake. However, knowing the boss personality, I should have expected this. I wished she could have handled it a bit better. Whatever. One day, you'll regret what you did. Until then, enjoy your last moments. With that, the boss returned to his seat. I didn't understand what he meant, but I focused on my work. For about a week, I was able to do my job without any involvement with the boss, and I felt a sense of relief I hadn't felt in a while. Then one day, "I'm sorry for calling you in on such short notice." "No problem. But what brings the president himself to talk to me? It has been decided that you're gonna be transferred. So, please start handing over your duties." "What?" That's all I have to say. I was stunned by the president's words. I couldn't understand what was happening. Why do I have to be transferred when I hadn't done anything wrong? Wait a minute. What did I do? I've heard a lot of things. You're probably gonna have a tough time where you're going, so good luck. That's all I can say. The president offered no proper explanation, just the fact that I was being transferred. It made no sense to me, and I couldn't accept it. Why do I have to be transferred? I've worked so hard for this company. Even after work, I dedicated my time to studying and thinking about how to produce results. As a result, I believe I've made a significant contribution to the company. How much sales have I generated on my own? And yet, I truly realized how unforgiving society is. No matter how hard you work, only a handful of people will acknowledge it. Society is unfair. That's what I thought. "Sarah, you've worked hard. I have something to report." You look down. Something happened. I've been transferred. So, this will be the last time we see each other, and I just wanted to say goodbye. What? Why are you being transferred? Did something happen? I can't think of anything, but it's the president's order, so I can't ignore it. Thank you so much for everything. I've learned so much from you, and I owe you more than I can ever repay. I thought it might be the last time, so I expressed my feelings to Sarah. There are countless things I've learned from her. It's because of her that I've grown so much. When I come back here, please take me out to dinner. As I said that, tears naturally welled up in my eyes. I didn't want to cry, but it was really painful to think that this would be the end of my relationship with her. I'll talk to the president. It's okay. I've got some mixed feelings, but I've mostly come to terms with it. Besides, I don't want to trouble you anymore. So, it's really okay. Of course, I wanted to continue working with her. But more than that, I didn't want to be a burden to her. To avoid causing her any more trouble, I decided to work hard on my own at my new assignment. After saying goodbye to Sarah, I packed up my things. Then, I went to my usual hangout spot with some junior colleagues to discuss the handover. While talking about the handover over dinner, oh, a call from Sarah. Sorry, I need to take this. Sarah called, so even though we were eating, I answered. Hello, is everything okay? Hey, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. Just wait a little longer, okay? That's all she said. I didn't understand what she meant, but I was determined to stick to my decision. I was just gonna follow the path I chose. Then the handover was complete, and it was my last day at this company. Even though I felt I had settled things, there was still a feeling of injustice. But it wouldn't do any good to dwell on negative feelings. That's how I spent my last day. I had about a week before my transfer. I planned to relax during that break. While heading home. Hey, jobless guy. Sarah, I'm not jobless, you know. Oh, I thought we were in the same boat, but it's just me, huh? That's lonely. What? I thought she was trying to comfort me. She probably didn't want it to be a sad last day, so she joked around. But then she said she was jobless. What did she mean? Jobless? What do you mean? I quit the company. I'm not gonna work there anymore. Are you serious? But you had the best career in that company. I don't want to work at a place that doesn't properly value people. I may not look like it, but I'm pretty loyal. I was so shocked I couldn't speak. Because of my situation, she messed up her career. I felt really sorry and wondered why things turned out this way. Why? You're not blaming yourself, are you? It's not your fault, so don't beat yourself up. I made this decision on my own. But I really hate people who can't stick to their principles, like the president and especially the boss. I'm not gonna work at a place like that. When I told the president I was quitting, he begged me to stay, but I told him no way. But your career? It's not about the career for me. Sure, I worked hard, but it was for my own growth. Actually, I'm thinking of starting my own business. Start her own business. That word made me realize she wasn't just quitting. She was taking a calculated step forward. Start your own business. Yeah, I was planning to prepare a bit more before quitting, but after what happened, I lost all motivation. So I wanted to ask if you'd help me start my company. What? I had been shocked many times that day, but this was the biggest surprise. She wanted me to be part of her startup. I always knew she was amazing, and I respected her as a business person. The fact that she invited me to be a key member was beyond an honor. You mean as a founding member? Yep. We're not quite ready to start yet, but we've got the basics and ideas down. There's a lot of work to do, like fundraising, but I want you to be one of the founding members. But are you sure about me? I'm not as skilled as you are. You know what, I've taken care of you. It's because you've got potential and more drive than anyone else. That's where I've always had high hopes for you, and you've exceeded them every time. I can vouch for your abilities. So far, Sarah had said many tough things to me. Of course, I knew it was all for my benefit, but I never expected she had such high regard for me. I was really happy. Did you really think that highly of me? I was afraid that if I acknowledged you too much, you'd stop growing. But I believe you're the most capable person in that company, and you have the motivation. That's where I've always wanted to work with you. I've always admired Sarah and worked hard. That's why I was really glad I put in the effort. I'm calling the company right now. What? Someone I respect more than anyone in my life just told me something so honorable. There's no way I'm gonna work for a company that unjustly demotes me without recognizing my worth. Wait, have you already made up your mind? Even if we start a business, I can only pay you the bare minimum at first, and it's gonna be tough until we get things going. Stability will be a long way off, really. Just like you have your own principles, I have mine too. I don't work just for stability. I want to choose my environment so I can grow. And besides, not accepting an offer from someone I respect was never an option for me. When I said that firmly, Sarah smiled a little. My mind was already made up, so I decided to call the president right then. Hello, regarding the demotion, I won't be going. Please consider this my resignation. I'm gonna work somewhere that recognizes my worth. Thanks for everything. That's all I said before hanging up. If they were demoting me, they probably didn't see me as valuable. The president didn't come around much, so I doubt he knew how well I was doing. Well, the company was losing 2 of its top talents, but no matter what they said, I wasn't going back. Sarah, I'm looking forward to working with you. You look determined. All right, if it's come to this, I'll be all in too, so stick with me, okay? Of course. Let's work hard together. Thinking about the demotion made life seem really bleak. I thought I'd have to come to terms with it in a week. But now, all those dark clouds over my life have cleared away. I had a goal and was full of motivation. I'll put all my energy on it. I could really feel that from the bottom of my heart. The next day, we started working towards starting the business. From morning till late at night, we worked on refining our ideas at Sarah's place. And 3 months later, we launched the company with Sarah as the president. I worked tirelessly in sales from morning till night. We've got a meeting date set. They definitely want you there too. If we land this contract, we'll be on track, so we have to seal the deal. Really. You did great. Thank you. I'm glad I trusted you. I kept proving my skills, increasing the number of companies that signed contracts with us. Within a year of starting the company, we had grown to about 20 employees, and the company was growing at a considerable pace. 3 years later, we had expanded to a big company with 100 employees. Cheers to the success of this project. Cheers. It was really tough, but I'm glad we persevered. At one point, I almost gave up, but it was thanks to your leadership that we made it through. Yes, I'm really glad we succeeded. We had just completed a big project that was crucial for the company's future. At one point, we were on the verge of failure due to a mistake by an employee. But because Sarah never gave up and kept pushing forward, we were inspired to do our best and eventually succeeded. This made me realize that no matter how much time passes, I could never match Sarah. But you know, I think we got this far thanks to you. Really, thank you, Scott. Without you, I wouldn't have made it this far. What are you talking about? It's because of you that everyone was able to keep going. You know, I'm not as strong as you think I am. My will is weak, and I don't have much grit. But seeing others work hard makes me want to work hard too. Because you worked so hard for the company, I could tell myself I couldn't slack off. I'm truly grateful for your presence. Though Sarah often expressed her appreciation as a business partner, we had never talked this openly. I felt deeply moved. It was truly worth all the effort I had put in. I felt, from the bottom of my heart, that my choice had not been wrong. We're both a bit clumsy, aren't we? Even if we didn't intend to, we've been supporting each other. I don't think I would be as happy working without you. That's true. It feels a bit late to say, but I'll always trust and rely on you. Let's keep doing our best together. Yes. We're still far from the top, so I'm gonna keep pushing myself to the limit. That's the spirit. From then on, I continued to work tirelessly for the company as Sarah's right-hand man and the company's number 2. By the 10th year after starting the business, we successfully got listed, marking a big success for the company. Working is tough. A lot of people feel that way. Of course, I understand the desire to live without working. But if you work with passion, it becomes a life challenge. I can't thank Sarah enough for giving me a place to pour my passion into, and I plan to continue working hard for her. Even now, I believe that following Sarah was the right choice, and I think I'll continue to feel that way. There will be many choices in life, but I'll always remember my important principle of following those who have no regrets. That's my life and my reason for living.